Howdy.
Hey,
Welcome. We're just chilling. Your
we're
name
just
is
chilling.
truncated. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm in streaming mode. So,
Uh, I see Sam
Sam? Okay.
appeared.
It's hiding.
Oh,
It's
that's
hiding it.
pronounced correctly. Sorry if I mispronounced.
Welcome, Sam. If you want to, we're just doing a chill co-working session today. We're getting ready for Buildathon at East Denver this week, getting our brain stuff ready, talking about art. Um, Sam, what do you do? Are you participating in the Buildathon? Right on. What is your if you wanna join in chat, you're welcome to. If not, that's cool too. I'm curious
Yeah.
what's your specialty uh, art wise? Where are you coming from to us from? VFX, games, simulations. I don't know. Art club. How'd you get started, Alejandro? Argent, welcome.
Uh, yeah. Hey, Argent. Good to see ya. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. I think this is related to that tick bug. Um, how did I get started?
Yeah.
Um, so when I was 14, I started volunteering at a local planetarium, and at the time it was just like had hardly any like full-time staff because they couldn't afford it. So there were a lot of volunteers, and everybody had to do everything.
Nice.
And it was great, like from making practical effects projectors to doing shows to like fixing the equipment, um,
Wow.
to going into the metal and wood shop to build things. It was a fantastic learning experience and probably the best job I ever had, even though I wasn't getting paid for it until I was like
That's
15.
amazing. It's like an AV nerd's dream, right? Like,
Right? Yeah, no, it was awesome. And I was super into astronomy and physics, so like
oh
it made a
man.
lot of sense. But what was cool was I really liked doing art, and they had a work study artist there who taught me how to paint and airbrush, and which I loved. But he hated working with computers. And at a certain point, we needed some like 3D animation for a show we were producing. And they're like, um, hey, to this artist or just to the group, really, like, you know, um, can you do this? And our staff artist was like, no, I really hate working with computers. And I was like, I don't. And so I started learning these 3D packages
That's
for
awesome.
doing art and animation. And after we produced that show, like some people saw some of the work that I had done on the dome, and
What a way to
wanted
start.
to gave me my first contract.
That's
They're like,
amazing.
"Hey, we want you to do some scientific visualization for us."
Whoa. Were
Like,
you still in high school at this
cool.
point?
All right. Yeah, I was
Awesome.
16 at that point. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's how I got started,
Nice.
and then like four years later, I went into games.
Nice. Yeah, it took me over a decade to get into games, even though that's where I wanted to start. But the librarian at school, um, gave me a book for page mill. Also allowed me to learn Photoshop on the school lab. So that was amazing.
Mm, yeah.
But man, God bless librarians, right? Because
Yes.
they really like see the passion in kids and just can like direct them and stuff. Underappreciated profession for
Hmm.
many reasons. Um, my first 3D package was True Space.
True space.
Do you
Okay.
remember True Space? This might have been like around
I do.
2000 or so.
I used a bunch of different things. there was back in the day, it was like there was Alias
Ready for that one?
and yeah, they combined Alias Wavefront. They eventually made Maya, um, and there was a like a 3D like environment renderer called VistaPro.
Hmm.
Remember using Bryce 3D and being like, what the heck
Bryce
is this?
3D, man. That one
But
could do terrains
when
and
I
stuff.
first, yeah, it was pretty limited. But when I first got my hands on 3D Studio Max, I think it was like I think it was the first release. I was like, okay, I really like this. And then R2 came out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I love working with this.
That's cool.
And I really wanted to move away from Alias. Um, yeah.
Welcome, Cipher, Sifr. I can't see
Cipher.
your full name. Cipher?
Cipher.
Cipher? Welcome,
So
welcome.
I found a bug,
Uh-oh.
and I think it might be related to this tick thing.
Oh, yeah.
So check it out. I have on my screen, we've
Hmm.
got wait half a second, increment points by 100, wait half a second, increment health by 1. But only the first one is executing after the first tick. So points are going up,
Hmm.
but health is not. If I switch it,
Oh, health isn't
health,
going up.
and I switch this to points, then you'll see that health will increment,
Health goes up. That one doesn't.
and that one doesn't. It just does it once.
How strange.
So yeah, we're
All
just
right, tick.
yeah, yeah.
The bug that
But
keeps
here's the
growing.
cool thing. So for those of you who are interested, in Mona Brains, you can define any variable that you want that can be used within like your setup. So for instance, let's say you had um, an elevator that needed to go up to a certain floor height, and like we wanted to always go up 10 meters or 5 meters or something for each floor. That seems excessive, but maybe 3 meters for each floor. But anyway, if you want to set that, you could do that as a variable. But let's say you wanted to display something, like you wanted to create a UI element that displayed something like health
Hmm.
or points or time or any information that you want. We're we're building this thing called Easy UI as part of Mona Brains, where, for instance, here, if this is not the final interface, it will be much nicer when we finally ship
Yeah.
this. But what I can do is I can have a health value, say, and I'm going to start the value at 1.
Oh,
But maybe let's start it at,
can't see your pop-up, by the way.
oh, we can't see the pop-up. Oh, that's no good. Here, let me try and do this again. Screens. Here we go. There we go. That would be helpful.
There we go.
Can you see the pop-up now?
Now we can see what you're talking about.
So I can set my health to 10. I can also set it to have a min and max.
Cipher. Okay,
That could
cool.
be,
Cipher. Welcome, Cipher.
oh, Cipher. Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Cipher. Um, so we can set the value to 10. We can constrain it to have a min and max. And those things are things that you can, in Brains, you can boost or lower. So,
Hmm.
like for instance, if you have a health pickup and you're already at like 9 health and it gives
Hmm.
you 5 health, like it won't go beyond the max, for instance,
Gotcha.
right?
Hmm.
You don't want that to happen. So then I can say, well, do I want to display it in the UI? And yes, I do. And I'm going to do the heads-up display. We're still working on object or on avatar, and that will be like floating above or below your certain object or avatar. And then I can decide where on the screen that I want it: top, left, center, right, bottom, etc. And let's see. So health right now, I'm going to. I have points over on the top right. I'm going to move this over to the top right too. And I'm going to set its priority to 12, so that the other one is set to 10. So this should be higher up on the UI.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Um, and I'm going to set my display name. I'm just going to call it help, um, and display this element. You can change the font. You can change its alignment, text alignment. Um, you can change its coloring and shadow,
Hmm.
etc., which is really nice. Um, and we can display it as a gauge. So this is
Oh,
something
cool.
where it can fill up over time, and we can have different types of gauges. We can have it go from left to right, right to left, bottom up, top down, or radial.
Nice.
Um, so which is nice. And so I've got some horizontal gauge. I've got a image that I'm using for it, and I'm just going to let everything else be.
Oh, so you can
Yeah,
customize it with your own art.
yeah, you can totally customize this with your own art, and then you can also like have numerical formatting if you wanted to display numbers in different ways. Say you want it to display in currency or percentage, or in this case, I'm doing a min-max display and showing my max. So the health will display what my current health is and what my max health is
Oh,
on the gauge.
all right.
All right.
And
So now,
and again, typical programmer apologies because we're doing programmer UIs right now while we're building out the
right.
feature set. But we
So,
have the Mona designer helping us with the final UI UX design.
mhm.
Brianna. Oh, cool.
So I'm setting this to automatically decrement.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I've just run out of health. And so like I can have a thing where it says when I'm at health 0, like I
Mm-hmm.
can kill the object or whatever. But what I can also do, which is kind of fun, is with my min and max type, I can do different things. Like I can have it loop. So if it goes beyond like a certain area, it will loop back.
Mm-hmm.
I can have it bounce. So if you say go above like the maximum, like let's say you're at 8 and you have a maximum of 10 and you add 4 to it, it will go beyond 10 and back to 8 actually. There's a few use cases for that, or you can return it to the default if you like exceed the min max, and that is whatever the number started as. And you'll eventually be able to set the default dynamically during gameplay. But
Mm.
if I set it to loop, and this is just kind of fun, it will just you can see that the my counter will just go and
Oh,
reset.
okay.
Hmm.
Nice. So our
What's
so
the
our goal here with this easy UI plus brains is that our goal is to make UI like building out UIs um, less tedious, right? Like you don't have to know how to do Unity UGUI. You don't have to know like the framework. For most things, we'll be able to do just um, configure it in a UI within a brain and just expose a property to the UI.
right? Exactly. So
And
I'm going to back.
well,
Yeah.
I was also going to say, like, Alejandro and I's goal is to do things that are like very common to game development and like expose those as features within brains. So, like, a lot of times when a metaverse is exposing a scripting layer for creators, they usually expose the entire programming language, which is fine, and we still support that, like visual scripting in Unity. However, with the brains approach, we're taking much more of like a building blocks approach, and those building blocks will be like really common use cases that you can use across multiple genres of games. And our hope is that that will allow creators to create more significant things faster rather than having to like start from scratch every time with like a full scripting language.
Yeah. Exactly. One of the things that I've learned after using the being in game development as long as I've been since about 2000 is that pretty much every time anybody makes a game, even if you're using a pre-made engine like Unity or Unreal, so many things have to be made like, you know, so many of the same things have to be made each time you make a game,
So true.
like a
Yeah.
character controller, like just like basic moving and pathing and you know, UI elements and you know all these things. It's like when you make a movie and you want some lighting, you go to the specialty store that sells like movie quality lights, right? You
Right.
pick which ones you want. You don't invent a light bulb each time you make a new movie. Um, but in game development,
Hmm.
that's kind of what you're doing a lot of the time. Even if you're using an engine, you're still like reinventing character controllers. You're reinventing stat displays. You're reinventing all this stuff, how doors work, right? How cameras
Hmm.
work. And so, yeah, what we really want to do is have this this framework that you can take with you, and you can just be like, all those things are already there. All the tools, all the things that you commonly want to do to make a game
Hmm.
are there. No need to reinvent the wheel. Just tell it to do the thing that you want to do,
Yeah.
that you've been want, you know, that you do in every single game.
Right.
But for whatever reason, you're recoding it each time. So
Yeah, just having like
yeah,
the gauges is huge. And then you'll be able to eventually also just say like attach this to a character, right? Or attach this to a tag. Like it can be on the screen or in the environment. That's cool.
yeah. So if you want to do right now, if you want to do like say bottom up or let's do that. How that's being displayed here is you can
Oh
see the
wow,
canvas
what?
slowly refilling.
Whoa. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then we can set the alignment of the text too to be on the right over there, so maybe it looks a little bit better. Um, so yeah, there's a bunch of cool things that are coming our way here. Um, let's see. Wait a minute, hold on. Oh, that's Is there anything in particular that, you know, from a UI standpoint that make it easier to, like some features that would make it easier for any of you to
Mm.
do the kinds of things that you want to do? Here,
Can this be
let's
adapted to
see.
VR? Cypher's asking.
We definitely have VR in mind with what
Hmm.
we're doing. So
Hmm.
we are both we both worked on a mixed reality project just
Hmm.
prior to this.
I've also shipped
And
multiple VR projects.
actually, Ryan has a really awesome catalog of VR projects. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my ultimate dream is to be able to sculpt in VR and then build scripting in VR. And my experience so far has been like Horizon scripting is something that they're using the old node graph sort of approach, which can get really messy really quick in VR.
mm,
And that's what I like about this approach because I can just imagine just like blocks stuck together and being really easy to call them up and pull them apart and put them together. I just feel like that interaction is ultimately what I would hope our brains editor will look like in VR. Um,
yeah,
yeah, that's our goal. That's our goal cipher is that like a lot of as I was starting to use visual scripting in Unity, like it's super powerful because it's basically C sharp. but it's basically C sharp. So like you have to know how
Hmm.
to like um, do a lot of stuff, and even like something as simple as like um, moving something between 2 points requires like so many nodes, and then to know how to reuse it is difficult, and then it's also like the performance and visually you can't describe very much information. So it's like visually, if you want to do something, it takes 8 nodes to do it, and it's just like one little task. It's just not very efficient. So what I like about this is that you're doing a weight and a decrement with 2 tiles, and you're exposing the property, and all of that's done. And that would take hundreds of tiles if we were to do it in visual scripting, plus all the
Right.
noise of um, like tying everything together. So that's why I've always found visual scripting and a node graph to be like it's powerful. Like I think like Blender node, like the Blender geometry nodes and shaders, like those all are perfect use cases for it, I think. For
Yeah.
this, I just think it needs to be a little bit higher level to be like truly useful.
Yeah. Um, One thing, so I know not everybody is from the US or, and so one of the things that I wanted to make sure is if you set like your thousandths and decimal place display to default, I'm going to change the wording here to be to instead of saying default to say region specific.
Mm.
It will automatically change how the numbers are displayed
Oh,
based
no.
on whatever region your computer is on.
Oh, nice.
But
So
if you
like,
actually
go ahead, sorry.
So like if you're yeah, like I know in Germany, for instance, instead of like they switch the commas that we typically use with decimals with periods.
Mm.
But so or maybe you want to use spaces for your thousand separator because you're making a game with like let's say like just huge numbers and you
Mm-hmm.
want it to read a little bit different. You can just set that and you'll have like a different formatting for the number so that you get spaces instead of
Oh,
commas.
nice.
Um, no, I might have, I need to fix that. Oh, yes, that was a number a little bit too large. Um, but if you just have things set to default, it will just default those to whatever is, specific to that part of the world that your computer happens to be running on. So, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and you can set prefixes and suffixes to your numbers as well. So currency will automatically add like a regional specific monetary value. But if I want to add like I don't know gold as a suffix, then I get that. So I've got 100,000 gold right there. So you can add prefixes and suffixes, and those will be added to any number that is displayed, including min-max stuff. Anyway, this is all like kind of minutia stuff, but it's nice. Like when I think about like building out a UI for a game or for like just an experience, you having to make all these considerations is time consuming.
Yeah,
So
totally.
hopefully we can take all of that away from from you having to worry about that and just like if you want to make those adjustments, just a drop down.
Nice.
Will there be a recording of this session or tutorials coming later? Yeah. So Ryan's recording this session right now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is early days, so like how this looks is going to be quite different from how we eventually want this to ship. Maybe some of it won't change very much. Maybe some of it will, just depending on timing. We'd like to get this out as soon as possible
Yeah.
to folks.
Cypher, are you
So
interested in? Are you interested in getting an early access to it? Like after the Buildathon, we're planning on making it available to some of our users so that we can get feedback and sweet, right on.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely anybody who wants to uh, participate in that, we'd love the feedback. Yeah, we just want to give everyone the ability to make the kinds of experiences that they want to make, and make it as easy as possible and painless as possible.
Totally.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna turn the shadow off on the icon.
Yes. Okay. So I'm laughing because you want to see what I'm doing.
Yeah, I want to see what you're doing. Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
stop
I'm
streaming.
gonna share. Share. See screens. All right. Can you see my screen?
I can. All right. Ooh, is that a
Okay.
carrot?
It is a carrot. Here, let me switch so that the recording can see what I'm doing. All right. You can still see what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. So some of the stuff I'm working on is the long, um, the long requested feature. Long Argent, are you still with us? Are you lurking still, Argent? Yes. Okay. So what I'm
All
working
right.
on, Argent, is updating our players so that we can do stuff like this. Look, they're sitting down, and
What?
I'm able to trigger an animation myself. Um, so what I'm really excited about is being able to basically override, uh, uh, like play any animation that you want on your VRM character. So like for one, I have, let's see, so I think it's here. Is it here? Oh no, here is where I'm changing. Okay, so in Brains, you'll be able to um, attach a brain to your player, like to your player controller, and then choose what you want to load. And so here I have Carrot loaded, and Carrot is just a VRM that I've imported into my project. But also Butter is a VRM that loaded through a URL. So, but you notice I'm doing this all without like uploading to Mona. So the idea being that like I really wanted to bring these features forward so that like you don't need to publish to Mona. We'd like you to, but also if you want to build yourself, some of these features are just going to be available. And so like if I press my H, oh look at that! Now my butter is sitting down.
Oh,
Yay! And this is
it's the
because
first time I've ever seen butter sit down.
I know, right? Usually it just melts on my stovetop. Um, oh no. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, oh, can you see my, you probably can't see my screen still. Stop streaming.
I can see your screen. Oh,
Well, I was
were you
showing
only sharing a
Chrome.
window?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
go live. All right, can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what I did
Okay.
was I installed well, actually, now I need to switch back. My screen's really wide, so that's why I'm switching. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to switch back
I've got a
to.
wide panoramic screen. All you have to
My wife loves me. Okay.
do.
um, oh, so I was going to say is that for the carrot one, hopefully you can still see my screen. I had imported the VRM for carrot, and then I clicked on carrot. I right-clicked on it, and I also installed the export to. Oh, sorry, it's export to FBX. So There is,
Are you showing windows? Are there some windows
oh,
that
shoot. I can use
you need to share your
technology.
screen?
I can do this. I can do this.
We know you can.
Okay. I'm going to share my widescreen. Just going to love it. But you're also going to see my OBS. All right.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay. So,
Now we can see the
now you
windows.
can see. Okay, cool. So, there is in the Unity registry an FBX exporter. So, FBX exporter. And so I installed the FBX importer here. Exporter. Exporter. And then when I click on my caret, I was able to go to the game object menu and export to FBX. And when I exported to FBX, it gave me an FBX version of my VRM, which is important because then I was able to upload it here to Mixamo. And then when I upload it to Mixamo, I can just like go through all of these. So if I wanted another pose, like, ooh, let's do sitting talking.
Oh, Cypher says they're getting a loading screen now.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's stop
I
it.
can I can see I can see your I could see your screen, but
Okay, let me switch to. All right, Cypher, can you see this? And I do have it. I do have it recorded. So if you want to see the screens, um, as part of my UI in
Arjun
Japanese,
is asking, well,
you know, it's because the Uni VRM toolkit is based in, I believe, they're Japanese developers. Oh shoot! How about now? Can you see it now?
no, still loading.
Oh shoot!
I can see it just fine.
Okay.
Sorry, Cypher, if you can't see it. We will post this
Yeah, we'll post the recording.
video.
Oh, this is cute. All right,
Yeah, I
we'll
like
sit on that one.
the sitting idle there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that sitting idle.
Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna load this one. There we go. That's nice. Oh, but that's actually sitting. Oh, I
Oh,
wonder
you
if
want a
there's
sitting
like.
idle, don't you?
Well, I know, but I kind of want them sitting down. This is like
Oh, I see.
the
Oh, so you
transition,
want
right?
the transition to sitting and getting a
Yeah,
pose.
I don't think I'm gonna get that. Oh well.
Thanks, Cypher. Yeah, I maybe I can just describe what's being shown here.
Okay, so yeah.
Ryan is fumbling through the Mixamo menu. Hello, Moody.
Yay,
Hey,
Moody.
good to see you.
Moody, we're talking about sitting.
Talking about sitting. Hello.
I'm gonna download this. So I'm gonna download it for Unity with the skin. Download that action.
So now we see a loading bar.
Yep.
Oh my God, sitting.
Well, more broadly, Moody, it's also just like, oh, awesome,
Oh, cool,
Cypher.
Cypher. Good
Good.
job. All right.
More broadly is that I want to make sure that we're able to play whatever animations we want on our VRMs through Moonabrains. So once you have a VRM compatible or an avatar compatible animation, you'll be able to play it. So I'm just showing how I'm doing that. So let's see. So I just downloaded that.
Yeah, you're downloading the sitting animation.
Okay, and then let me switch back to, I'm going to share my Unity.
You may have to share that whole screen just so that we can see your window.
Oh, see pop-ups? Well, let's try this for now.
Yeah.
Moody, check
Okay.
this out. I'm pressing, I'm going to show the brain that is doing this, but the brain that's doing this is I was able to on start load butter, and butter is coming from a URL. And Arjun, I will answer that question in just a minute. I think you'll be happy.
Yeah. I think you'll be happy.
And then on the player, so I loaded the loaded that. And now on keyboard, I have the H key. And when I press the H key, I do a sit. And so what I'll do is I just added another animation. So I'm going to pull that one in. Downloads, sitting,
Yeah.
talking.
So while you're pulling in that
Sure.
animation, yeah, Argent, the moderation tools are on their way, and I think you're going to be really excited about that.
Um,
I know that, yeah. Um,
you can mute all
and
right
I
now,
think
by the
there's
way.
more.
Right now, they did ship muting all. I don't know if they have muting individuals yet, but the moderator can mute everybody else. So that's a good start, I think.
Yeah, yeah. There's more stuff in the pipe works. Moody, yeah, I saw some of the stuff that you posted. It's looking amazing, as
Unbelievable,
usual.
Moody. Yep.
Um,
Look, my carrot's sitting.
yeah, I'm loving this. And yeah, so now you have to make some seats because you're gonna
Yeah,
have characters that can sit down and hang
exactly.
out.
So sitting, okay, so I got this one and we got this one. I'll have to snap it after. That would be hilarious. Okay. Oh, he's so sad. All right. So now we have this thing called, this is where I can associate animations and attach them to brains. So here we'll have sit cross-legged
Okay.
and then sitting, talking right there. So I've added, oh shoot. Okay, so I've added
So
that. And now I'm going to go to my brain and where it says keyboard sit. Let's play the sit animation first. Let's see if this works. Wait for it to complete and then
all
play the
right. Oh, you
sitting
added
cross
that. That's
leg.
great.
Let's see if this works.
Ah, cool. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Just a sec, Argent.
Okay, so I'm going to press H, sit. Oh, no, it didn't sit down. Okay, let me try just
Ah,
deleting. Let me just try playing the sitting cross-legged one.
this plan. Yeah, sure. All right, let's check this out.
Awesome.
Oh, there you go. There's a transition.
There we go.
But hey,
So the
there
next
you
thing I
go.
need to do is just make it where you can target where you want to sit and it will align your character and evoke the sitting animation, as well as be able to chain multiple sitting animations together so that you can do like transitions. Um,
Mhm.
oh yeah,
And
and then
this will allow for like,
layered animations is important because, well, if I'm running around and I press the shoot button, then I need to be able to do that. So you can do simple, right now I have upper body set up so that you can do an upper body animation while you're running around. And so that will allow at the beginning for just like throwing, shooting, using a weapon, that sort of thing. Um, and then, yes,
so yeah.
Moody, that is the next tile I'm going to create or the next probably option or tile, I haven't decided yet, but the idea would be that you can say like this chair, make sure that you align with this chair at this spot and sit down in the right place. Likewise, if you want to sit down in a car or sit down on an object, then we'll also have that alignment. So Moody, what you were asking for last week with like being able to steer a ship or like ride a bike or things like that's definitely the intent of these tiles. And really want to make it easy enough that like you don't have to worry about the entire character controller because there's other things that we have for emotes and walking and running and all of that stuff. But being able to override specific poses and do transitions is something that will be coming when we do our first um, brains release.
Yeah.
So yeah, excited about
Yeah,
that.
it's super exciting. Like that, this is like
Doop.
making those kinds of transitions is a huge,
Oh my
huge thing.
gosh.
Like being able to like get in a car or hop on a horse, that sort of thing, like, is can can take some work. But if we can make those things easy for you to do, then that will be pretty awesome.
Right, right.
Um,
Uh, oh, also, I guess the last
Going
thing
back
to,
to Argent.
oh, one
Oh,
last thing to
just hold
say.
on just a
Oh,
second.
yeah, sorry.
Okay. Just Argent. So I'm not part of the moderation team. I don't know what the roadmap is. Um, but I have heard, of some features that are coming down the pipeline. And I don't know what I can talk about yet, but um, there's more tools coming.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically. I think the tool to mute all is now in the chat
I
box,
think
right?
it shipped. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should. So, um, yeah, maybe I'll make a note for myself and see if I can get back on that.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. I was just going to mention here that you can set up avatars that you want to support in your brains from your space. Now, obviously, people can come in with their own VRMs and stuff, but like part of what I wanted to allow for is that if you have a specific game that's like a specific style and you want to enforce what the characters look like, then you'll be able to do that. And then alternatively support different VRMs. But here you see that we have like a local VRM that was imported manually. Um, and then here's a URL to the Butter VRM. So that's how I loaded this one. So anyway, so yeah.
Similarly with like the easy UI that we were showing earlier, some of you didn't quite see that yet, but it will be in the recording. But posting up stats and UI for things like health and points and whatever you like. Um, you can specify icons for it and images, like you can skin that UI to look
Mm-hmm.
how you want it to. But alternately, uh, the goal will also be to allow you to just do a URL to certain images as well, so that you can, if there's something specifically that you have a link to that you wanted to load in for the UI, you can
Yeah,
do that
yeah,
as well.
totally. So starting to take steps towards interoperability. I was impressed just looking at VRM. Um, you know, I've been playing with wearables, for example, and mapping wearables to different bones, being able to attach things to different bones. Um, yes, Moody, NPC dialogue text boxes. That is definitely something
Yes.
you'll be able to do with the easy UI that Alejandro is working on. And then you'll be able to control your dialogue through brains and create
So you
logic
can
for
have,
displaying dialogue trees and such.
yeah, you'll be able to have, yeah, you can have some conversations that are directed, like think of a standard adventure game or something like Skyrim. You'll be able to have like options that way. Alternatively, one of our long-term goals and is to allow you to also potentially put in chatting with like an AI bot that you've uh, set up,
Oh, that is
like
high on my
personalities and stuff,
list. That is high on my list.
uh, so that you'll be able to do that as well. But Ryan has a lot of experience
Hmm.
working in narrative, making narrative experiences in games, and so like it's really exciting to have his and his partner's perspective on this, uh, because they've done dialogue trees and they've done
Yeah.
storytelling so much, and so they know where the pain points are. They know where the things that really work well, and so we're going to try and make that
Hmm.
as comprehensive as possible and as easy as possible for anybody coming in who wants to make dialogue.
Yeah. Our last narrative experience, it's on the Oculus store actually. It's called Area Man Lives. And I think we had like somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 lines of dialogue. And then plus, like we did behavior trees for all the dialogue because you could do things like speak out loud and then like interrupt the character or have the character interrupt you. And so a lot of that stuff requires um, some simple but really powerful like uh, behavior trees or state machines, which is essentially what Mona is, or Mona Brains is. It's kind of like this mix of state machines and behavior trees, which you can do a lot of cool stuff with. So when we bring like AI to NPCs, it won't just be like ask the AI questions and then like have it spit out whatever it wants. Like you'll be able to guide the conversations. So it's like you'll be able to say like, hey, what did the user just type back, or what did they choose? And I want you to go this direction or mention this and then change the subject. Like really like real time directing. So that's my goal because I love narrative experiences. And what I want to build in Mona is like narrative immersive experiences and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm really excited about this foundation because like we're going to be able to do a lot of cool stuff in the next coming months. So
Yeah, it's super super exciting.
yeah, mapping wearables. So Arjun, I spent the weekend and late last week playing with wearables. I do have some new or I'm sorry, some new tiles. If you, oh, you can't see my screen. Show my screen. So screens, go live. All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Hopefully. Um, and we're gonna, oh, hi Chrome, there we go. Okay, so, go here, go there, okay. Oh, I'm gonna go actually to the player level. All right, so I do have two tiles here, wear asset and equip asset. And I can't show you the assets that I was playing with because I'm not allowed to, but there are,
It's really cool.
there is the ability to equip a wearable. And basically what has to happen is that you have your VRM skeleton and then your wearable would be skinned to the same skeleton. And then we just like parent all the bones of the wearable into the skeleton of the VRM. So you can basically put it on. And as long as it like encompasses your VRM, big enough to do that, then we'll be able to, then it will work. It's right now with this method that I'm using, like it's not really possible to like delete parts of the avatar and replace them with other parts of the wearable yet. We're gonna have to figure out a way to do that that's like performance efficient because you don't want a bunch of like armatures running at once or animators running at once. You want to like limit how many animators you're running at any given time, and especially in a metaverse where you have a bunch of different characters, like you need to be careful about that. So that's part of what we're working on. But at the very least, you will be able to set up wearables for your brain and set up VRMs for your brain, and then also equip assets. And the idea there is that you equip them to one of the parts of the body. So I was playing with equipping like pistols to hands, for example. Excuse me. But really, we'll be able to mount different things to different parts of the body, and then also have the ability to customize it so you can specify the offset, the rotation, and the scale, so that you can get it like aligned correctly. So yeah, like wearables and equipment is really important to us because like part of games is being able to like do stuff and hold on to things and pick things up and put things down. So like a lot of that is already built into brains. So yeah.
This will eventually tie into a larger inventory system as well, that you'll be able to customize to some
Nice.
degree. So yeah, it's
And you'll
super
be able
cool.
to I will eventually make it possible to override every animation on our controller. And by being able to override every animation on our controller, remember, Argent, that like I remember you asked last month or the month before um, about animations not sizing correctly to different avatars. And so at the very least, you'll be able to provide like VRM specific like animations to your brain so that if they're wearing your VRM, you'll be able to add animations for that VRM. And that should solve some of the retargeting issues. Not all of them, because retargeting isn't perfect, but at least you'll be able to like specify your own specific animations, which should hopefully solve the problem that you were having.
We have another meeting that we have to
Oh,
attend to. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined. And
mhm,
yeah, it's great seeing you all on here. Yeah, please feel free to reach out to us anytime on Discord. And
absolutely.
yeah, it's exciting stuff is coming down. And
It's very
and
close.
please, if
We
you're interested, yeah. And please, if you're interested in joining like a beta and getting access to this stuff early, we'd love you to do so. We'd love the feedback, what we can improve, what you like,
mhm.
all that stuff. Yeah, it'd be great to hear your thoughts. So, and it would be great to see what you guys create with this stuff.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to the
I'm
most.
super excited about that.
Yeah, and we're heading to ETH Denver at the end of the week, and we're bringing like our current build of brains for a buildathon there, and then after that, we'll open it up to the community. I know it's a little bit in reverse. We would prefer to open it to the community first, but we're working as
Yeah.
fast as we can, and ETH Denver was a deadline. So that's why it's kind of inverted there. But definitely, like we want to work closest with you, our community. You've been, you're the reason Mona is here. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with us.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, talk later.
Talk soon.